Welcome to the Mighty Nerd Podcast, where we talk about all things gaming, whether it be tabletop or desktop, except not today. My name is Fist Truck, and I'm joined by
Solid
no
Snarf.
one. Okay. And
Hey Tony, what's good, y'all?
yeah, welcome Tony. Welcome.
Yep.
You're here to you're here to balance the BMI in this podcast, so we're happy to have you here.
You are funny, my friend, but welcome. I appreciate it.
Well, it's the end of the year, or by the time you're seeing this, the beginning of a new one. And I guess we're going to go over our top 5 games that we played this year. In order. From 5 to 1.
Oh, so we're not doing the top down, we're doing the bottom up.
Well, from your least favorite to most favorite.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
I can do that. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, and when you have a same game on all of our lists, and it's in a different order. And
Which I imagine will be in the number one spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just taking a guess.
Yeah, just taking
number
a
one's
guess
gonna
at
be
the
the
number
fucking
one slot.
same. Unless you pull Fortnite out of your ass for number one, I'm gonna be shocked.
Oh, boy.
Right?
Might.
Right?
Well, we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, don't tell me.
Alrighty. Should we go 5-5-5 or just do 5-4-3-2-1?
No, go. We start with our fives. Yeah.
All right. Well, my 5 this year is a game called 30XX. It's a Mega Man roguelike, and it's pretty good.
Oh, I guess we should probably explain the criteria for this list.
Oh,
right.
Because
please.
it's specifically sorry, hold on to the 30XX thing. So to be very clear, this is the top 5 games that we played in 2023, which means that the game could have not come out in 2023. In the case of 30XX, technically it did, but this can also mean maybe because I'm gonna definitely cheat like a motherfucker for one game specifically, where I played it extensively for the first time in 2023. So that's so in my case, I think I only have 2 games on my list that came out this year.
right.
So yeah, you'll definitely be hearing games that did not come out during 2023 because dropping $60-$70 on every game that comes out is not my mission. So 30XX, sorry, continue.
Yeah, 30XX.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a porno. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the sequel
30
to
men.
20XX. Which I don't know if you guys ever. Yeah, I think we all played it. Looked like, I don't know, construction paper pinned together with.
You're just assuming that I played a game I never played, and that's
Right, I never played that game either. So.
I'm pretty sure both
Tony,
of you have played it.
do you even know what the fuck he's talking about?
Sure. I am 99% sure both of you have played it.
Well, let me tell you about the 1%.
99% sure you're wrong.
Neither of you have played 20XX.
I've never played anything of the sort. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I think 9 out of 10 dentists would think you're a dumbass right now, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I think both of you are lying right now. That's what I think. Because I'm pretty sure I remember us talking about 30XX and saying how much you like 20XX.
Right, so you're definitely
wrong.
the 10th dentist to say that brushing your teeth is bad for you. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Wrong guy here.
Never played it. The only person that I know that's played 20XX aside from you is the person that you play 30XX with, and that's it.
Okay, well. Now I look stupid. That's fine. It's all right.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's the 10th dentist.
Yeah.
Well, yep. Well, it's indie game, I guess. Their previous game was 20XX, which, was fun. Didn't look great. And then they just upped the game. They did all pixel art and made it look all Mega Man-like. And
yeah, the other one definitely looked like a Newgrounds game.
Yeah, for sure. And it's been in beta or alpha for 5 years. And I've been playing it for 5 years. But it came out this year, so I'm putting it on my list because I have too many hours on it to not have it on a list.
And you did say what kind of game it was. It's like a Mega Man X roguelite type thing.
Yeah, so the levels are procedurally generated, and you go through the levels randomly until you reach the last level. So I think 8 bosses? Yeah, there's like 8 bosses, and then you hit the last level. And you use materials to level up, so you get more powerful in the beginning of the game when you start a new run, and you get upgrades and power-ups and all that good stuff on your journey through the runs.
Cool. Yeah, and I've seen you play it a lot, especially with the phone with our friends, because it also has online co-op. So
Online co-op is
Yeah.
awesome.
Never
Yeah, and
seen
it's
it
pretty
before
much
in my
like-
life, so you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to see a game where you don't have to look at it in order to beat it, just see them play that game in co-op.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because pretty much every single time I've seen it is nothing but just yellow circles all over the screen, and they win, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just. Yeah, the co-op is definitely, you can become so powerful that you just press forward and shoot. But definitely fun time.
All right, Tony, you're number 5.
So I would have to say my number 5 would have to be Dave the Diver.
Cool.
Just
cool.
kind of just got into this game. I basically Dave the Diver is like an adventure game. You control Dave. He dives.
He's
he
a
goes
diver.
down and gets fish. it sounds really like basic, but I promise you, when you get into it, it's actually a lot of fun. Go down, you collect fish, you go back, it's a deep story to it that I didn't expect to have for one of these types of games. In comparison, it's almost like 8. I wouldn't call it 8-bit, maybe 10.
Like
but
16 probably.
8,
Yeah.
10, 16-bit. It
Although
looks
10 does 10 bit a thing?
maybe
Or
not.
at least in the yeah, I'm like okay, 37 bit. Yo.
It is really, really fun. I can't really speak highly enough about the game for it to be one of those games that's not graphically like appeasing,
Yeah, it's
the
not
most
pushing
appeasing to the
anything,
eye, but
yeah.
it's colorful. There's a lot of deep and rich story to it. Single player game, can't play with friends, no co-op, but I've been sinking a lot of hours into it. Something I just kind of recently got into and I didn't even know about until recently, and I was just like, oh shit, this game is great. Like, it really is good. I
Big
highly
question.
recommend to anybody just wanting to try something like that. What's up?
Big question: is Dave the Diver an indie game?
Oh,
So, you know what's so funny, right? That is that is a big argument. People saying, no, it's not an indie game, but if you look at it and you go online to research it, it does say indie game, role-playing game, shooter game.
It
Yeah.
does, but also the day before did say MMO.
Really?
Yeah.
Bull.
So
You
So
serious?
So it depends. Yeah. Oh yeah. Completely serious. So the thing is that the publisher for Dave the Diver is definitely not indie. I guess that's the big thing.
yeah.
Mm.
But the
That's what it is, yeah.
the studio that they actually worked on the game, they
Yeah.
only had one game out before, and I never.
Yeah,
heard of
but
it.
then that begs the question: what does indie mean? Does it mean that you're independent or that you don't have a lot of people?
Yeah,
Right,
that
right.
is something to discuss at a later date. But Dave
Yeah,
the Diver,
I
I 100% recommend.
yeah, I saw
to
my friend
anybody.
play it. Saw my
Yeah.
friend play it. It looks funny, but also like he was playing a shit ton too. It looks really good.
$16 on Steam.
Can't beat that.
Not a bit.
What's
Uh,
yours, Fist?
Yeah. So it's a game about the story of a girl. I'm not continuing that song. That was unintentional, but born, raised in New York, going through some struggles.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Get the fuck out of here.
No, I just started
No,
playing
it's
it
not.
recently. It's I'm talking about Forspoken. It's not. No.
I was about to say, please don't.
Listen. I actually did start playing it recently, and I'm like, it's like
Trash.
I wouldn't say trash. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
It's pretty bad.
It's not that bad. Like, I'm playing it, and it's like, all right. It's not good, but it's all right. The story is so funny because it's like the writing's so bad.
Yeah,
There's a part where they're telling her, you have to help us. She's like, I don't give a shit. Leave me the fuck alone. That's exactly what she says. Exactly what she says. And I just, like, this happened. I was playing this last night. She said that, and I just audibly went like, okay. All right.
Yeah, you and I had different
I don't know how you. I fought that boss that you fought. I don't know how you did that. That was that.
Like, what do you? Oh, because it took so long.
Yeah. Did you upgrade anything you did in there? Any of your stuff?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I doubt it. At least seeing them, how long it took you and me, that's a gigantic difference. But
didn't I have it on stupid difficulty?
Hard. So I changed it to hard, and it wasn't that much of a difference.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember I was running back and forth because I was so low on health. I think that was it, and I was just pecking away at the health bar. Took me a little while.
That was like you were there for like an hour or two. But now my fifth game.
That wasn't the bad part of the game. You know, I don't think that was the bad part of the game. Bad part of the game is just you're playing it and then there's so much not going on.
There's a lot of shit. That's neither here nor there. That's a conversation.
This isn't on your 5, is it? That was a joke.
No.
What's your 5?
It's a joke. I didn't even beat it, so I'm not going to put it there. Wild Hearts. Wild Hearts is definitely going to be there for me. It's it's like a Monster Hunter type game, but unlike a lot of other Monster Hunter type games that came out, this one's like actually fun. So, the thing that like makes it ever so slightly hard to recommend, which I think might be a thing at least once. This might be the only time. Yes, thankfully, this is the only time where I have to say this on this list, on my list specifically, is that depending on what platform you play it on, your mileage may vary. Because if you play this on PC, it's just absolute butt shit dog water trash. It's like the PC port is so fucking awful.
Is it still
I don't
awful?
I don't think they've fixed it since then, or they have, but it like still isn't. It's like comparing shit to poop. Right? Like it's still shit. And unfortunately, because of even on console, to be fair, it did not perform well. But I played it, I don't know, a couple days ago, and the performance was way better than when it was at launch. Unfortunately, because of the technical stuff, understandably, a lot of people didn't get it because you got to play the game, and if the game is fighting with you when you try to play it, there's that, especially PC specifically, and that's a problem. But I loved it. With like all three of us here played it a lot.
Yeah, it was about to be on my top 5. It was definitely like number 6.
Yeah. So like I put what?
It was close for me. It was top 10, but no.
Yeah. The thing that's a shame is because of the technical stuff, it kind of like they definitely added content post launch, but then because of the lack of sales, because of the fucking technical performance, and like that kind of got cut short, which is a shame. But I do hope that like going forward, maybe another one comes out in the future at some point eventually that actually works properly, because I put like. Yeah, I would say probably amongst all the Monster Hunter games I played, I probably had to put like somewhere near 1,000 hours in like on Monster Hunter. And I love Monster Hunter, but there are like issues I have with it. Like there are times where I guess to like build up the fantasy of you hunting a monster, it has a lot of these things. They've kind of like done away with this more as time has gone on. But I still remember days of you having to have fucking like paintballs just to track where the monster was.
Yeah.
And that was obnoxious. Obviously, that's one of the things they got rid of when Monster Hunter World came out. That was cool. But then like Rise came out, and I played Rise for a bit. At least beat it technically, and it was solid. But it was kind of like you see they were trying to push Monster Hunter in like a faster direction, maybe because it was a Switch game first.
Yeah.
But it I feel like Monster Hunter's combat is cool, but it doesn't kind of like completely support that because it's still like the weightiness of it, which is good for what it is. But like Wild Hearts is way faster. Wild Hearts feels like a fucking like a super tight action game. Like building the boxes. Like at first I thought it was a gimmick. Like when I played the demo or whatever. Or not demo, but like the trial or something. Like I thought the building the boxes was going to be a gimmick. It turned out to be like first really cool, a second a huge integral part to combat.
Yeah,
and just exploration. I love that when you're going around the world, you like leave your mark on it. As you explore, you start and keep hunting monsters in each zone. You kind of start figuring out like where you should put some like zip lines to get around faster, to make shortcuts, where to put camps to get around more quickly. You got like cars that are just a wheel. It's like the one wheel cycle thing from South Park, where it went in their mouth and their ass in order to make it go or something, and then it turns out it didn't. It's so much fun. It was kind of a game that like just took over my life for probably a solid like I don't know 1 or 2 weeks, but within those 1 or 2 weeks, it was like crippling addiction of me just playing that game nonstop. Maybe some of the, like a problem with the game would be like the monster variety's kind of like not the best. Like you see the rat you see the rat again, and then not Omega long rat after you rat and then you see like God King rat. That's like the post game content when you like beat the game. The first like super Omega monster you fight is the rat of Annihilation. It's actually scary, which is funny. But like, but on the flip side, if we're gonna compare it to Monster Hunter, we're talking about a brand new IP, brand new game versus Monster Hunter game that recycles monsters over its 20 plus years of being around. So they kind of got a little bit of a leg up there. And even then, when you play a Monster Hunter game, you could fucking point to all the monsters that are basically the exact same.
And they have many years to have their own gameplay.
That they're drawing from it, and build on
this is definitely a first in its series,
Yeah, and for first, it's like really fucking good.
Yeah,
like it's really and it's crazy fun. And it's on Game Pass, so you can play it there. That's my number 5. It's my number 5. All right, Snarf, what's your number 4?
Shit. Damn.
That's it. It's over.
All right.
We got 41XX.
41XX. All right.
The black leather couch is sitting there.
All right. Hear me out.
Lightfall.
No. All right. Like if it was a real list, like not me making the list, but like I don't know, a third party like looking at me and making a list.
I feel like something
Destiny would be on it.
Said. Oh God.
But it's not on it. That would be a good. It's not on it.
Yeah, that would be a good thing. Like if someone from the outside looking in made your top 5 list based on the how much you played certain games throughout the year, what would it be?
Destiny definitely would have to be on there.
Yeah,
Fortnite would be your number 1.
Fortnite would be number 1.
Yeah. I think Clone Hero would be my number 1.
Yeah, Clone Hero definitely. Shit. Maybe Clone Hero should be on. Anyway, it's a game called Signalis. It's a horror third-person pixel survival game.
Yeah, like in the style of
Resident Evil.
Old school Resident Evil.
Yeah. I don't like scary games. But
that's it. He hates it, bro. That's it.
But this touched me somewhere. It was really good. Like it was really good. I guess in the same way that Dead Space is really good. Like I hate horror, but it's a good game. So I'll dredge through the horror aspects just to play it.
He said the thing.
What'd I say?
Nothing. I'll tell you when my next game comes up.
Okay.
Is it Dredge?
It is.
Is there a game called Dredge?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Signalis, if you're looking for a solid story, with deep background characters, this ain't it. But it has a story, and you don't know what's going on, and it has some wonky shit where it messes with or tries to mess with your head, and the survival horror aspect is very prominent. Because you gotta have your resources, make sure not to spend all of them, and solve puzzles. Hell yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely saw you play it for a bit. That was it was interesting. Not really my kind of thing, because I don't know. I never really cared for old school Resident Evil, but still look cool.
Yeah, it's definitely not. It's not. I wouldn't even consider it my type of thing. It's just it came out and it was there, and I was really surprised by it.
Yeah.
Tony, what's your number 4?
Well,
It's Dredge.
surprise, it's Dredge. I'll have to say I really did enjoy Dredge. Dredge was it was something I didn't expect to really be good. For anybody that doesn't know, Dredge is it's a fishing video game made by Black Salt Games.
Second one on his list.
Yeah, this is what? Oh, another fishing game? Yeah. Fair enough. But another fishing game. But I have to say, I've been diving more into not literally, but diving more into games that aren't the most graphically intensive, and they've been really some sleepers, man. I didn't expect this to be good too. This is one of those games where, of course, you're fishing, but it's not it's more of a creepy type fishing game, with a in-depth story. You're looking for things. You need to make sure you come back during the daytime and not at night, or find a port at night so you can rest up for the next day. Upgrading your boat, getting a new line so you can go deeper with the fishing, and it has a story. It has a fairly deep story that I couldn't stop playing from start to finish. I highly recommend for anybody that's looking for something just to jump into and play. This is another one of those games that won't break the bank. You can, I don't know how much it is on Steam at the moment. I would have to look
but
it
it's
up,
not 60, 70 bucks.
No, it's not a 60, 70 bucks game. You know what I mean? But it's one of those games that I would have in my top 5, just because of the amount of time I put into it, the amount of joy that I got from it. How those days you get up and you're just like, oh shit, I really want to play this game and see where it goes.
Yeah.
So I got that type of excitement from the game, so I was just like, I have to put it in my top 5.
It happens less and less as you get older. But I think the description of the game was directly from the makers, Lovecraftian fishing simulating game.
Yeah, I wouldn't really call it a simulator, because
it's
but I get
not.
the Lovecraftian creatures and stuff like that. You deal with all types of stuff.
Yeah,
is
it the fishing is just the vehicle to get you to the weird shit, really?
Right. Yeah. So you do a lot of fishing in order to make money to get more upgrades for your boat, but there's a lot of other stuff going on in the game that you would really be interested in as you're playing.
Is exploration forefront of the game also?
Yeah, so there's a lot of places that you can explore, but if your ship does not upgrade, you explore out there, you do that at your own peril, because you'll either get sunk or you'll get ate. So
cool.
Spooky.
Very.
Alright. What was your number 4, Fist?
So this game is about 20 years old, or 19 years old. I'm pretty late to the party with this one, and that's World of Warcraft for me.
Was this the first?
No. But specifically in this case, I'm talking about the most recent expansion, so Dragonflight.
Okay.
Now, the first time I played it was during Shadowlands, which if there was a time where you should not have started playing it, that was it. And it was not good. It was not good. It was like, or it was fine. It was fine. Like, it was fine. But the thing is that once you got to the end game kind of stuff, there was like so much shit there that felt like it wanted to waste your time, which is the complete opposite. And is why I have Dragonflight, specifically Season 2 of Dragonflight, because that's what I played the most, on here as my number 4 spot, is because so many people got off the game because of all the bullshit they pulled during Shadowlands, and then Blizzard got found out for doing really, really terrible things, and it turned out to be the best thing to happen to the game.
Damn.
Because it turns out, surprise, surprise, when you get rid of all the bullshit and you get rid of all the assholes and degenerates that are taking everything down with them, you actually can start making good games, right? Crazy. I know. Who would have thought?
Hell yeah.
And so, Dragonflight is like everything you do, and so for the most part in the world of MMOs, which I'm relatively, I guess in the grand scheme of you know, the big picture, I'm relatively new to. I play like Final Fantasy 14, World of Warcraft, and even though I hesitate to call it an MMO, but just another, you know, a grindy game, Destiny 2.
Right.
Out of those 3 games, like people will always point to Final Fantasy, right? Like the way gearing works in Final Fantasy is super straightforward. You know, like it's as linear can get. Number goes up. There's no build variety. No nothing. In fact, I don't even think you could call that game doesn't even have builds. World of Warcraft, amongst those 3 games, actually feels like it wastes your time the least, which is fucking nuts. Really? Because it's World of Warcraft, without a doubt. Because regardless of what kind of activities you do, you're getting something from it, which is like, you know, what's the it's like you know, ooh, piece of candy, you know, carrot on a stick cut type shit. I think they call like Skinner box design in a usually pejorative way for good reason. But when I play World of Warcraft and I want to do like the public event, right? And there's a shit ton of people doing the public event, because when I finish this public event, it's going to give me a really, really good piece of gear. And that's in Final Fantasy, their public events, no one does them because they don't give shit. And let's be real, when you're playing games like this, that's really what's driving a lot of the motivation to do things. Same for like Destiny. There could be like public events, old ones that no one fucking does.
That's true. Yep.
And while in WoW, it's kind of like that. You still might run into, at least specifically for Dragonflight, you might do a public event that's a couple patches old, and people are still doing it because it might either give like a really cool mount, or give like a recipe for, you know, if you're trying to craft food, which is good for high-end raiding and that kind of shit. And so out of all those games, not only does it feel like WoW does waste your time the least, but also there are multiple avenues for interesting content to engage with. And so, for example, in Destiny, almost all the content is gray ooze until you start doing strikes on, like, you know, master or something, like, or a higher difficulty, like Nightfalls. There you go. That's what it is. You do Nightfalls or dungeons or raids, then like the game actually asks for you to pay attention. But that content is such a small little percentage of the content that you experience in the game. Final Fantasy is they have more content of that sort for you to engage with, but getting to it is like peeling your fingernails off. Like it's so boring. And if you're like, I enjoy the story for Final Fantasy, but if you don't, like, God rest your soul.
Yeah. Well, you can also when you pay whatever expansion they have, like, you can level up by paying money also, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could get a boost if you want to, but, like, you know, what does that say about the game that you'd rather buy a boost than actually play it?
It's,
you know, kind of thing.
It's just a lot of stuff. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Especially if you're beginning.
Yeah, I mean, well, for Final Fantasy specifically, it doesn't matter as much because you get through it once and that's it. Like, you don't do it over and over again.
Yeah.
With WoW, it's a different story. WoW, you'll, like, when you level up a character, they're that class.
Right.
But WoW will have so when it comes to end game content, PvE specifically, because PvP could suck my balls. Raiding is super sick. It's like it's cool when you can get in there, feel like you're part of a well-oiled machine, kick ass, do these really really intricate, well-designed boss fights, or at least usually well-designed. The only thing is that like if you don't have a group, or if you're not trying to find a guild to play with, probably gonna have not the best time. But even then, you don't even need to find like 19 other people to raid with. You could also do Mythic Plus, which is like infinitely scaling 5-player content, and it's crazy fun if you want to chase after, like, you just want to push as hard as possible. You want to chase after, like you just want to do the hardest shit that you possibly can. The skill ceiling is incredibly high, but on the flip side, there are multiple tiers of rewards. So even if you're not like pushing for the highest end achievement, there are still things that are probably well within your skill level, or as much as you care to engage with, that's still equally rewarding. And it's weird that WoW's in that spot, but I put so much time into it this year and had a shit ton of fun that like I had to put it on my list.
Yeah. So when you do like old events, is it fixed loot that only drops from that event, or is it random?
Well, I'm only speaking about old events specifically within the expansion.
Oh, okay.
And it's a random pool.
Okay.
But like, these types of things can possibly come from this event.
Cool. Solid choice.
Solid choice. What's a solid number 3 from Solid Snarf?
Nice segue. Yeah. A RPG called Chained Echoes.
Chained Echoes. That came out this year?
I don't know, but I played it this year.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. That is...
It did not.
Yeah, well, I played it this year.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The consensus that I've heard online, or from friends that have played both games, is that... what's that other RPG that came out?
Sea of Stars?
Sea of Stars, like, should be on a top 5 list. But I didn't play that because I was playing Chained Echoes. So Chained Echoes is on my list. I haven't played Sea of Stars yet, but after years of playing like turn-based RPG combat and just regular RPGs, this seems like a well-polished, like a culmination of everything. It's when you play like an old RPG, for me it has a certain type of movement. Like the overworld movement is kind of sluggish. This one is like fast, snappy, which is not important to the gameplay, but it's just I notice it, right? I notice that it's easy to move across the game world. It's easy to know who you're talking to or who you have and have not talked to before, because they'll have like a red dot above their head. And my favorite part is the combat. They introduced like this what is it? What?
Tug of war?
Tug of war. Yeah, I was about to call it tug of rope. I was like, what the hell is that?
They got this tug job mechanic.
Yeah, they got this tug job mechanic where if you do moves, your bar
jerks you off.
Yeah, if you jerk, your bar goes up, and if they jerk,
they jerk back.
Yeah. So, but you gotta know you reverse the grip, and then you can jerk and have your bar go down, and you got to stay in a sweet spot. So, yeah.
Sweet spot for the jerk. Gotcha.
Yeah.
You're constant. Some would say you're living on the edge.
Yeah, you got to stay in that sweet spot. You can't go too far right in the bar, or else you'll take double damage, and everything costs double. In the beginning of the bar where there's no benefits, everything's just flat, and in the middle of the bar where it's green, you do more damage and it costs less to do special moves. And it, randomly, I don't know if it's random. I'm pretty sure it's random, but certain moves decrease your bar like significantly, so you can stay in the middle easily, and like defending decreases your bar, and it's just a nice element to turn-based combat because if you find one move that works and like
You just do it. That's
you
it.
just do it over and over again. But this one you really have to think because you can't go too far or else you're dead because you take double damage. And there are certain moves you need to do with this one character, the assassin, samurai, thief chick. Like all of her moves rotate so you can do her ultimate move. So you need to do her regular moves first before her ultimate move comes out, and then she just wipes anything she hits, but she's also like paper, so she goes down. And you can use all the characters that you get. There's 4 characters on screen at a time, but they're like tag teams, so like the main guy is you can set up to be tag teamed with someone else, and you can swap out the main guy for the other person, so you can have all the characters in one fight, just only 4 at a time, so you can switch out health and do like tag team combos. And it does some nice stuff with elements where you can put elemental debuffs and have another person do an elemental attack where it'll do double damage. Yeah. Oh, and it has this sky armor thing, which is pretty cool. And the story is solid. It's solid RPG story. And I just like the way they started out the game, introducing each character. Like, you don't... it's not like you play one dude and then it's one dude just collecting these people. It's like you find the different paths that they're on and they all merge into this one thing, and it was just a nice way to introduce all the characters.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's my number 3, Chained Echoes.
Cool. Tony?
Okay. Hot take. People are going to get pissed off with me for this.
Don't worry, that assumes they're listening in the first place.
Yeah.
Star...
Honka?
Citizen?
He said Citizen? Okay.
Star Citizen.
I mean, I know he ain't gonna say Field, so
You sure I'm not going to say
You're
Field?
not going to say Starfield.
you're not gonna know. You're gonna say Hawkeye.
No. Okay, so
gonna
it was a toss-up for me. I actually had a pretty hard time picking my third.
Yeah.
It was between Star Wars Jedi Survivor and Wulong Fallen Dynasty. So for me, I'm gonna steer more towards Wulong, only because I really enjoyed that game.
This is the first time one of you guys has said a game I played. All right.
I enjoyed that game from start to finish. Like Fist, like Solid, because I know Solid plays Souls-like games as well. I like games that have a bit of a challenge. It's not that cheesy, okay, well, I crank up the difficulty and just the boss has
just
more
shit
health.
takes way longer
Right.
than die in one hit.
But I like games that challenge me, and because, I just like, I'm not a masochist, but Wulong is one of those games where it's just like, it's difficult. Like, it can be really difficult when you first ever play against any boss or any mob. It's one of those games where you run in and you're gonna get your fucking cheeks clapped. It's just gonna happen. They're like Wulong Fallen Dynasty is basically like a role-playing-esque game.
Sekiro.
It's like Sekiro, but made by Team Ninja. I enjoyed it from start to finish. Went back, played through it again. You can play with different weapons. You can do different stances. There's so much fun to be had when I played Wulong Fallen Dynasty. I also enjoyed the fact, and it's new to me, and it was brought to my attention by other people and viewers, that Wulong Fallen Dynasty is basically like a lot of the characters are from the Dynasty Warrior games that I never played any of, so I didn't know what was going on. The only person that I did know was Lubu and that's because he's been in other folklore and other games.
Yeah, like I was like, you know where else they're from? Real life. Like,
right. So a lot of that was new to me. So just playing that game was very enjoyable. I played it from start to finish twice. Probably gonna do it in the third playthrough next year because you gotta give a game some time to rest.
Yeah, I want to get the DLCs.
Yeah, and then it's gonna be DLC for it as well. Yeah, just short, sweet, and to the point. I think if you enjoy Souls-like games, anything of the sort, I think Wulong Fallen Dynasty it'll be right up your alley. Me personally, I feel like out of all the Souls games that came out this year, Lies of P, Wulong Fallen Dynasty, what else, Fist? There was
Lords of the Fallen.
Lords of the Fallen. I feel like Wulong was my top one. Granted, I've given Lies of P and Lords of the Fallen a try. I feel like I enjoy Wulong a little bit more. That's just me, though. That's my third.
Yeah, it was definitely my top 10. But
I played the shit out of all three of those. I beat all three of those multiple times. And Wulong's definitely the best one. But that's because like they're just like Wulong is not on my list. And it's just because another game that they made is on my list.
Gotcha.
But no, Wulong slaps. There was
and the other games don't have co-op, right?
No, they do. They
do.
Lords of the Fallen does. Lies of P does not.
Right.
Lies of P does.
Which is so fucking stupid. I'm sorry, you just got me triggered on this rant. It's so Lies of P does not have any online components at all, but you can't pause the game because Dark Souls does it. I don't give a fuck what anyone would say. Why else can you not pause a game? You have to commit to I have to commit to this 7-minute boss battle. That's fantastic. What makes it any more harder if I hit the pause button to go piss and then come back and the boss still kicks the shit out of me? What the fuck does it matter? I hate that so many games like Souls-likes do like, oh, you can't pause the game. It's like, why? What's the point? I fucking hate that Elden Ring still does it when you're offline. Like, what's the point?
I think
what's the point? The difficulty does not come from the fact that you can't pause the game.
I think a couple of developers have like childhood trauma where, their mom said, come clean your room, says I can't pause the game.
It's an online game. Well, now I'm gonna do it to a fucking offline game because I suck. Like that's it's so stupid, man. Which going back to Wulong, they at least have the courage to let you pause the game. It's stupid. At least the button combination is kind of stupid to do it, but you could do it. Like you could pause the game. Sorry. Yeah, that's
okay.
Now Wulong's great. I played let's see, when it came out I played through it. And then I got like halfway through New Game Plus, or with their New Game Plus, it's like they actually do New Game Plus properly where you up the difficulty so it's actually still challenging. Got halfway through it, then like maybe a month ago I got back on the game and did every mission on that second difficulty level, and it's like when I first played through it I was like, yeah man, I really like this game, it's really really good. And then when I beat it I was like, all right, it's really good, but I didn't play it all that much afterwards, so I was just like how do I feel about it? Then when I went back I was like, no, this game fucking slaps. That's a really good game.
Yeah, it really is. So I had to add that to the list.
It's like Sekiro but with variety. Like Sekiro is like, I guess maybe since some of the spectacle aspects of it is cooler, but like there's only one way to play Sekiro. And Wulong is actual, like you could fuck around with different weapons, different spells, skills, all that kind of stuff. And
all about the sword.
Speaking of that, when Sekiro 2 comes out, that's a day one buy for me.
Is that a thing they're gonna do?
They've decided. I thought I heard something. But
the story.
I'll look up some else.
The story.
They never do 2s, man.
Like, pulls it up for a sequel now, like the way it ends.
Something like that.
But that's, to be fair, that's like kind of all of them, but they never do sequels. Like Dark Souls. So think of it like this: the only reason why Dark Souls 2 exists is because Namco wanted something else to come out because they weren't going from Dark Souls 1 to Dark Souls 2. They're going from Dark Souls 1 to Bloodborne.
Right.
And they weren't going from Bloodborne to Dark Souls 3, but Dark Souls 2 came out, and it's like, oh, well, let's do a fucking trilogy. They're going from Bloodborne to Sekiro. and they went from Sekiro to Elden Ring. I don't think they ever do sequels. Like even Demon Souls and Dark Souls is like kind of weird, but even then they're not related. So it's
Right.
even though they're like the same kind of shit. But to be fair, so is like Dark Souls and fucking Elden Ring.
Well, what's your number 3, Fist?
I forgot that we were talking about lists at this point. Yeah. So this is yet another game that did not come out this year yet. And I will say before I say what this game is, I have not seen everything that is in this game, but I have gotten the credits to roll. So, as far as I'm concerned, I did beat it. And that's Tunic.
Oh, hell yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Tunic is, Snarf played it last year, I think,
Yeah.
and he was like, yo, man, this game is...
Play it.
Yo,
why aren't you playing it?
Like, you could have sliced bread or you could play Tunic. Which one's more important to mankind? He was a bit on the fence about it. So I started playing it, and then I was just like, yeah, it's really cute. And then I stopped playing it. And it was I got to a spot that I was, and this is like kind of the one big negative I have about the game is just like how much time you will spend not knowing where the fuck to go. But like that also kind of is the point of the game. It's so weird. But once earlier this year, I just wanted something to play. I got back on it. I progressed a little bit, or like once I hit the point where I was actually progressing and found out where to go. The next day I woke up and I like full degen did nothing but play that game the whole fucking day until I beat it. It's so good. It's like I think like personally I play a shit ton of Souls-likes and stuff and action RPGs in general, but I feel like the best part of Souls-likes that kind of gets lost, or that's kind of like sometimes feels like it's kind of fallen to the wayside as time goes on, is the exploration aspect of them.
Right.
So like, and I think Tunic is kind of it's like Zelda meets Souls-like because you still have a fucking stamina bar. You drop shit when you die and you can pick it up. So it's got some of those elements to it. That game is like, the combat is like fine, it works. It's not like the star, though. I do like that the extra goodies that you find are actually useful. Yeah, but then now that they're useful and you don't get them all the time, you never use them. But that's besides the point. It's just how good the exploration is. Like the game kind of just throws you on a beach or something, and then it's like, go fuck yourself. That's the whole game. By the end of it, you get the credits roll, and you're like, right. I like kind of know what's going on, but I really don't care. Like I don't care about, at least personally for me, I'm not a big story guy unless like the story's that nice. At least for me, that nice would be like God of War, Ragnarok, or something like that, or 2018 or shit like that. So the story was, or whatever story was there, I paid attention to it as best as as much as I cared to. It was fine, but it's just the exploration is so fucking good. It's so fucking good, and it's also so adorable the whole time. But like, it's so fucking good. You're just going around, like you're finding stuff. Sometimes you'll get like an item, and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, now I could go back to this spot and get past this one thing. Right now I can mess with this feature in the environment because I have like a grappling hook type thing or something, which I guess is like, yeah, it sounds like a Metroidvania. Yeah, but this one does not just put a thing on your map and tell you. It does not tell you like, go here. You just figure that out as you explore and internalize the map, and then the game has this like a manual or something, like an instruction booklet that's like actually in the game, and the instruction booklet, like right when you get it, tells you like, okay, you hit this button and then it does this, but it's also written in like fucking hieroglyphs and like Proto-Slavic or something. It's completely unintelligible.
It's called Trunic. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, whatever. Just keep sniffing your own farts, my guy. So there's You can't tell what the book is doing, but it'll have, or is saying, but like some things will be in readable, and most of it won't be, and it'll just have like arrows pointing to things. And the first time you look at it, you're like, okay, like what the fuck is that? And then you find that thing that the arrow is pointing at in the map, like, or when you're playing in the world, and you're like, oh. And you're finding pages of the book as you go, and the book's kind of like telling the story of the game, but it's also like putting in little secrets in the book that sometimes you're like, what the fuck do I do? And then you're just randomly flipping through the book and you see something in the corner, you're like, you bitch, you've been hiding this from me the whole time in plain sight. And it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, I loved it. The only thing, like, aside from getting lost, I sort of felt like randomly the last boss of the game was like, you just randomly, like, I'm kind of playing through most of the game semi carefree, like it's challenging, but it's kind of whatever, at least for me. And then the last boss is like, fasten your diaper, you're about to shit your pants. Like it's like I go from like kind of just bumbling my way through the game to having to actually learn a pattern and shit, which I'm down for that, but when it's like it felt like it was so detached from the rest of the game, it's kind of weird. But the game is like it's so good. It's so good. And you know, like it's not expensive at all. It's on Game Pass. Like
Yeah.
You gotta play. If you haven't played it, you gotta play it. It's so good.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised it was on your list. I'm happy. I like it when my friends like games that I like.
Oh, let me go ahead and write this down. Just 2 days.
Yeah, no, you gotta play. It's good,
Yeah.
man. It's good. And oh man, it's just good.
Don't
It's good,
look
but
up
like you
any
cannot.
walkthroughs.
Yeah, if you're lost, suck it. Like just live with it. If you're lost, you will eventually become unlost, or your ass. Like that's all. But
No, just the main mechanic of the game is you learning the game. That's
is exploring. Exploration is the game. It is the game.
If
Exploration,
you-
like you fight shit, but exploration is the game.
Yeah. If you look up a guide, you're not gonna
You're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah,
Okay.
like it's the kind of game where I wish every time I played the game was the first time I played the game.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Tony, what is your number 3? I think we already did. Is it?
Yeah, we did go through that.
Oh,
It
God,
was
it's my
William.
turn now.
You're an
This is
animal. What's your number?
two.
What's your number 2?
Oh God.
Right.
Oh God.
We're down to shit.
Don't yell at me, please.
Ah!
Oh God. Please don't yell at me.
I'm probably gonna yell at you.
All right, my number 2. This could have easily been number 1.
No, I'm definitely gonna yell at you.
Yeah.
Is Baldur's Gate.
You dumb motherfucker.
You fucker.
fucking- you cancer on society, mother.
You
Listen.
degenerate.
Listen.
Yeah, you fucking pant shitter.
Listen.
It's
Listen. It deserves to be on a number 1 spot somewhere.
yo, you're the kind of guy to tell somebody having a tearful speech on stage to wrap it up.
All right, so what's your number 2? You said Baldur's Gate?
Yeah,
Yeah,
number
yeah.
2 is Baldur's Gate.
Your number 1 better be so good. It
Yeah.
better be so good.
It's going
gonna
to
be
be
fucking-
personal. All right,
It's gonna be Baldur's front door.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what to say other than it's a complete phenomenal game. It's great. I have like 6 co-op campaigns. Only finished,
All of them
all of them
all of them
unfinished.
Complete.
unfinished. Yeah.
The complete.
And I'm in like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, but each of them is different. Like,
Yeah.
I play. Well, we play D&D like regularly. Just
Yeah, sorry, just as a spoiler and an unspoiler, because, I mean, like, surprise, but I'm going to do my very best to not repeat everything he's saying when I get to when I get to this game later on.
Yeah. So we play D&D like outside, and we were able to get 4 people that we were playing D&D with. So it's me, Fist, our friend John, and our friend Dwight, and we made our characters in the game.
Yeah, except I don't have a character, so I just made a character called NPC because I'm the one that's running the game.
Yeah. And like that was a whole different experience than just playing it, as the
By
game
yourself,
intends,
and-
quote
yeah.
unquote.
Yeah.
Because we were those characters, and it's just like it was like DLC for our main campaign, and you were able to do the fuck shit that we did in the regular D&D game in the game, and it was just it helped build out my character. It was nice. And the game, as intended, you play, any which way, multiple ways to play it. It's fucking phenomenal. It's very story driven. The combat is D&D. It's good. And
yeah, it's like D&D but better.
Yeah, it's like
it's still not perfect, but it's better.
Right, but the openness at which you can approach things is crazy. Like, to think that somebody spent all this time to do one thing in multiple different ways and make it work and not break the game every 5 seconds is, props,
Yeah.
Golf claps. And yeah, it's phenomenal. It's definitely game of the year. It won game of the year. It should be game of the year.
Just not
it
yours.
It is the game of the year, just not on your top 5, apparently.
It could have easily been number one.
No, you've betrayed us.
Yeah,
it could have easily been number one.
Betrayal.
Different opinion as having motherfucker,
Fuck you.
Listen,
yeah,
you didn't live my life. You didn't live my life, all right?
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right, so my number 2... it was a toss-up. This was hard. Okay, so basically these are 2 games that we've already kind of played, but one was better than the other for me.
Okay.
It was a toss-up out of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and Resident Evil 4 remake.
I'm
not...
he said game that we all played.
Oh, well, sorry. But I'll have to give it to Resident Evil 4. And the only reason I say that is the remake was so fucking good.
I need to play it.
They really did a good fucking job with the remake.
I need to play it.
Yes, you sure do. Yeah. What can be said about Resident Evil 4 other than like it kind of started the whole Red Dot, third person shooting the leg, you know what I mean? Then do saving ammo conservatively, like just all types of. It was really good. Quick time events, all of that. It was so good, man. And I feel like they hit the nail on the head with the remake, from the graphics to little callbacks to the GameCube version that I played when it first dropped. Phenomenal remake. They added Mercenaries to this.
Mercenaries is good, real good.
Mercenaries is really good. They even added Ada's story, as they always do, into it as well. Can't speak highly enough about Resident Evil 4. I know hot take people would be like, oh, it should have been The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
No.
But I feel like Resident Evil 4 deserved that.
Yeah, this ain't that.
I really enjoyed it.
At least amongst the 3 of us.
I really enjoyed it. And I'm probably gonna go back to play it maybe again for maybe to stop. Who knows? But I might play it again.
I need to play it. It's on sale for like $30.
It is? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't put it on my list because I didn't know. It's a remake of.
I don't care.
But it's a new game though.
Yeah,
it's basically a brand new game. I have to say brand new just because when you go through it, there's some aspects that they added, some things they took out, but a lot of the aspects that they added that I was
did with 2 and 3,
and it was just really good.
Yeah, for sure. What is your number 2? Fist?
Dumbest game of 2022. Probably most brain dead marketing campaign that I feel like had it been the most frustrating after having played the game as much as I did and enjoying it and loving it as much as I do. Seeing what the conversation around that game is and forever will be is frustrating, even though the conversation that surrounds it is really funny. But it's a Final Fantasy or whatever the fuck it's called. Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy something, whatever. I'm kind of cheating because I did play it and I did beat it last year.
Okay.
But I don't care. So, like, but I put the bulk of my time on it this year.
Right.
And even last year I loved it, but it was like we're having a top 5 list, and like it's so good. It's so good.
That's the
it's so
fighting
good.
chaos thing, right?
Yeah, it sucks because when they first put out the trailer for this, and I think every podcast has to say at least once how much I fucking hate trailers, but all you got from the trailer was he's like, I don't know, but I'm here to kill Chaos. And like the other guy's like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck Chaos in the ass. And the other guy's like, I'm gonna shoot Chaos in the back of the fucking head.
Yo.
And then it's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Fucking,
and
I remember watching it. I think I told you this. And it was like, hey, they have a new Final Fantasy trailer out. It's the worst trailer I've seen in my life.
You look at it, you're like, what the fuck is it? What is this supposed to be? It's like Idiot Simulator. it's so stupid.
And then having played the game, it makes perfect sense what the trailer was. It's
yeah.
Like I haven't played it. I watched you play it, and it looks awesome. But
the thing is that the story, like that is the guy's character, but him saying it's funny. Like I'm not gonna say the story for the game is good, but I enjoyed it. It was enjoyable. And they made sense of it. The thing is that the whole him going, I don't know, I'm just here to kill Chaos, it sounds so stupid, but then you're like, oh yeah, Chaos is the name of the bad guy? It's like, you're like, okay, so it's the same, I'm trying to kill Steve, or whoever. Like, it's kind of like that, but they called it Chaos because this game's based on Final Fantasy 1, a game that came out 30 plus years ago or something. Right. So like, calling something Chaos back then was cool. So so that makes sense. But then even then, just his like fixation on I'm here to kill Chaos is a point of the story. Like, eventually the story goes like, wait, why the fuck am I why am I like this? Like that becomes the part of the story. But the trailer never conveyed that, and I'm just gonna say it right now because like even then, the story is not the reason why I play this game. The combat is the gameplay is so fucking good. Like, it's it's a Souls-like, I guess, even though it barely has any fucking Souls-like elements to it. But still, I guess, people will say it's a Souls-like, so I'm just gonna say it's a Souls-like. It has to be probably in my top 5. Like, of that genre, considering how much of that genre I played, because this does include all the FromSoft ones. It's easily within my top 5 of those games because, like, the combat is so fucking good. The build variety, like, that game has some really bad stonks. Like, you have to go in there and you have to micromanage the ever-living fuck out of your gear and all that kind of stuff. Not when you're playing through the game for the first time, but once you start going into, like, higher difficulties and stuff, you have to start build crafting and optimizing that kind of shit. But, like, the amount of time you put into it is, paid back and then some with the reward of having such a cool ass build. And like the game has like 36 fucking classes or some crazy number like that. And they break them up into different tiers. So you could essentially break them up into like 3 levels. You just have like your beginner, intermediate, advanced kind of shit. But the beginner jobs are just as viable as the advanced ones, even it's a omega late game. Like, but one of my big problems with Souls-likes and the FromSoft games are very much, criminals or commit this crime, but it's how like throwaway New Game Plus feels in a lot of these games. I get most of my time out of New Game Plus and playing through the games over and over again and trying different stuff out. But when you play through Elden Ring, as an example, when you play through it more than once, the game gets pretty much the first half of the game, even if you go all the way up to New Game Plus 7 or New Game Plus 8, wherever the difficulty tops out at,
it's not bad.
The first half of the game is just brain dead. Like, you don't have to think. You will just bitch slap everything in your way. The health and the damage, well, the damage might catch up, but even then, the health scaling of the bosses never catches up with the amount of damage that you do. On the flip side, when you get to the end of the game, things might have just a bit too much health, but really it's kind of just like the end of the game stays all right, but then the first half is just kind of whatever, and the middle is just all over the place.
Right.
But with the way that Team Ninja, so the same thing for Wolong and the same for Neo and this stuff, but I don't know, I feel like Stranger in Paradise just fucking nailed it. The way that they handled the New Game Plus in their games is that not only does it make the game harder, but it scales everything. Since their games have item levels and that kind of shit, they can actually properly scale the difficulty of the game on higher difficulties, or in this case, we'll just say like subsequent New Game Plus cycles. So, but they don't just do that. They don't just tune it so that the game scales with you. They also have it so that bosses are more aggressive, have new moves, mix up their move sets just in general.
Jesus.
Like, it's so fucking sick.
Yeah,
so even then, the DLC is, and I'm like, I know I'm going on forever about this, but the DLC in Stranger in Paradise is total dog shit. It's total dog shit for everyone but me. Like, that's how it feels. Because what they did with other games is that they'll put out new DLC and it'll be like 3 story missions, and 3 story missions is a significant amount of content. So
Right.
I'm not trying to undersell that. And it'll be an additional difficulty. So in Stranger in Paradise, you could tell they had a half-ass it because they give you the next difficulty level and they give you like 1 or 2 bosses, but in order to fight them, you have to be the max item level of the difficulty level. So essentially it's like, oh hey, you want to do the new content? Play through the fucking game again on the new difficulty level. Which is total ass. For DLC, that's total ass. But then you play it and you're like, holy shit, they changed so much with each difficulty level. For me, I'm not excusing it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not excusing it. But for me, that's sick because you pretty much breathe new life. Instead of adding 3 new bosses and then just making the game harder, you add 1 or 2 new bosses, which is half-assing it with no other big content aside from that. But you also breathe new life into like the 20 or 30 bosses that are in the game. Like every boss now mixes shit up differently, gets more aggressive, does new moves. Like, I know I've said that already, but just to reiterate. So once I did the first boss of the game fucked me up. And when the first boss of the game fucked me up, I was like, well, now I got to see all of them.
Yeah.
It's like, now I got to see what all of them do. It's so sick. And then the next DLC comes out, and it does it even more. So it's like, okay, now I'm used to these newer bosses. Guess what? Now they're even more aggressive, and now they have even more moves, and they'll kick your ass even more. And it's so cool. It's so cool. I love it. I put hundreds of fucking hours into the game once I realized that's what it was. It's still half-assing DLC, it's in my opinion, but for what it was for me, it was so good. And like, no other Souls-like I've played has captured that feeling ever. Like, once you play through it once, you pretty much go through the motions every single other time you play through. Like, when I have to play through Elden Ring again, like when I'm trying to record a video, I'll blast through Elden Ring from start to finish in like a day or something. And I'm not a speedrunner, so for me that's quick. But like with Stranger in Paradise, and like Neo was like this too, but I feel like Stranger in Paradise did it better. Even on when I'm playing on like the highest difficulty for that game, like you cannot fuck around. It's still challenging you all the time, and it's so good. I'm done gushing over it. And also at this point now, because you could get the game on sale for like $20 fucking. So it's so good.
Yeah, watching you play it is a lot of shit going on. And,
yeah.
And a lot of shit going on, and then 30 or 40 minutes of build crafting.
But
hours of shit
the thing is,
going
I'll spend like 30, 40 minutes just build crafting, but then I'll also then spend hours and hours of playing that build because it's so much fun.
Because I think I remember watching you play it in the beginning, and then like you had a totally different class. You did like double blade or something. And then the next time I looked at you, you were doing a mage build, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, and the mage build fucks. Like,
yeah.
You can spam spells if you want, but like every class in that game is going to require you to get in there and fuck shit up. But then with the mage build, you're also like getting in there, you'll smack them a bit, then you'll like fucking cast a gigantic fire spell that blows everyone up. It's so good.
Was that the game where your NPC pals just die?
Yeah, they're absolute fucking idiots. It's like, it's not so bad when you're first playing through the game, but when you're on the higher difficulty level, they'd be like, hey, Jack, we got some cubes here. Oh, I'm dead. Like, it's immediate. Like, you get into a boss fight, and pretty much within the first, like, 15 to 20 seconds of the boss fight, both your allies are dead on the floor, and it's just a 1v1. Which like, is obnoxious, but then it's like it's also really fucking cool that you're like 1v1ing this boss. So I kind of like it's so much fun. It's so much fun. But you have to be into that kind of like, you know, like if you're into the aspect of Souls likes where you like chasing the challenge, I think that game is perfect. If you're into the aspect of it where you want to get into the lore, like you already stopped listening to me. Like, the moment I said the story makes sense of him saying I'm gonna kill Chaos, I'm pretty sure you're like, okay, you're stupid. You're right, I am. But just for a game that's fun and challenging and rewarding, it's so good. All right, number ones.
Oh.
All right, let's get this out the way. Let's save yours for last. All right, Tony, what's your number one?
You already know.
All right, so
one
Tony's number one is Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, what? Yeah. Traitor.
My number one is Divinity Original Sin 2.
Yo,
Psych, I'm talking about Baldur's Gate 3. It's just that I never had a chance to say on any podcast platform or anything otherwise that Divinity Original Sin 2 was like a fucking mind-blowing game for me.
Yeah.
And Baldur's Gate 3 is just the evolution of that. But my perspective on it is much like Snarf's because we play D&D and all that kind of stuff. But somebody who's a lot newer to that hobby is Tony, so please give us your perspective on it.
So I'll be real. Like, for me, it was an eye-opener playing this game. I'm really into role play games. I'm into basically turn-based combat. So this type of game kind of checked all the boxes for me, but with it having D&D aspects, I kind of went into it brand new, not knowing what some of the races were. Well, not some. I would have to say more so just the Gith Yankee. That was new. The Mind Flayers. The Mind Flayers were new. Like things like that. Tieflings, that was new. But gnomes, elves, orcs, that's relatively
that's fantasy stuff.
Yeah, fantasy stuff. So I could understand it. But the anything from the dice rolls and everything, I was learning, and I actually had Snarf come in and actually show me some stuff while I was actually playing the game that made more sense to me. But as far as story, as far as replayability, as far as playing with friends, multiplayer, they checked every box. As far as a finished product, finished product. Like let me say that again. As far as the finished product, this is the only game that I played in the past 5 to 10 years that has been finished for the most part. Like there's no DLC. There's no bullshit. There's no DLC. There's no, hey, you got to pay for this to get here. It is a finished game. I loved it from start to finish. It's not without bugs, but it's not something like game breaking to where I couldn't play the game anymore. Okay, for myself, I didn't run into any game breaking bugs that kept me from playing the game, and it told you to save often just because. So I didn't run into anything that broke the game for me. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm on my third playthrough of this game. Now I'm on my third playthrough with mods, and the mods just make it even better. This game is I can't speak highly enough from the music to I'm finding myself at the character creation screen just sitting there listening to the music. The boss battles, the ingenuity of being able to just do random shit or do all types of things differently. Like if I wanna attack a boss differently, I can. If I wanna not blast a spider into the abyss, you can. I can do damn near. I have the choice, not that perception of choice. If you do this will change. No. Yeah. It's not when you change something in this game, it is a long choice, and it's something that you have to think about. I'm not gonna spoil it, but Solid and Fist were there when I made a choice at the very end of the game that just changed the whole aspect of the game. His experience was just way different than ours. Way different than theirs, just because of one decision that I made. I could end the game early as well with one decision that I made. It's so crazy how this game works. I can't speak more highly enough about Larian Studios. Anything that they put out going forward, I will have to keep my eye on. I'm not one of those people that like just keep my eye on studios or knowing name of studios, but because of them,
the future looks brighter.
and because of FromSoft, I'm kind of one of those people that kind of keep my name on game studios now. Project CD Red, like CD Projekt Red. I keep my eye on this studio whenever they put out a project or any updates that they make for Baldur's Gate. I'm 100% in. I love this game from start to finish.
And gateway drug for actual D&D, which we are.
Got me. It actually got me into D&D. I play D&D with Fitz and Solid now, and I'm actually interested because before, when I didn't know what was going on and I was listening in, I was like, I don't know if that's for me. Yeah, it wasn't nerd shit. It just nah. I just didn't understand what the fuck was going on half the time. But now that I play D&D,
sex, bro.
and this is what I say, like,
I begin to thrust.
I know a lot of people don't like the game, like, not say don't like, but a lot of people who've played the game, like, I watch the forums and Reddit, and people be like, well, it's not a bad game, it's just not for me. It's really pretty. I like the story. I like the characters and the voiceovers, and that's one thing that really gripped me. The voiceovers for these characters are top tier. 10 out of 10. I cannot. There's no other game that has done voiceovers this fucking.
And they all have like interesting stories too.
Very much.
Each of your party people all have their own like crazy fucking stories. Like there's a dude I watch on Twitch who I think best compared it to like they're all like the fucking X-Men.
Right.
They all have like, they all have like these crazy fucking backstories that put them like that explain what why they are where they are now, and it's like as you go and play through the game, you're like uncovering that. So it's
uncovering
really
their stories, going through little things about them, and the option of choice, as I said, you can kill off a party member and they will never come back.
Yeah.
You could tell them to leave and they will never come back. That is a big deal to me, because that's not, I made a choice and it maybe it does matter, maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, but it all funnels to the same thing.
It all funnels to the same thing, but it matters, because one choice you could have of getting rid of a party member, when you get to a certain part of the game, they're no longer able to help you with this certain part of the game. I love shit like that, and that's really like a big integral part of why Baldur's Gate will like, that is my number one. Like, it was my number one for a while. I'm glad it won Game of the Year. I'm just happy that Larian Studios is doing well with that game.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, it's at least in my case, like, pretty much anything I could say, I think Snarf has said, and Tony put it probably better than I could. It's just for me, specifically, because the Divinity Original Sin 2 was, like, my big intro into, like, CRPGs. When this came, or leading out to this coming out, I was like, I'm not a big early access guy, even though I trust that it's going to come out, it's going to be fucking sick, because Divinity, like, pretty much the way that Tony feels about Baldur's Gate and how that might have like changed your perspective on things, or like shown things under a new light. That's what like Divinity did for me. I guess it's like 2018 when I played it. So seeing this game is just more like a refinement of what Divinity did, and also it being a better version of D&D's combat than if you were to actually play D&D. It's it's like. Like my pronoun is only he, because Baldur's Gate is him. Like I can never be him. Like that kind of shit. That's how that game feels. It's like it's that good.
Right.
I know, like, for some people who have played Baldur's Gate 2, way back when, I've seen like this is a very vocal, minority, I guess. A small group of people will like have some issues with the way with things the game has changed over time, or maybe the way the game uses new characters, and I respect that, but like you're really choosing to miss out on a phenomenal experience otherwise.
Right.
But none of this even matters, because we've got one more number one to hear.
Ah, shit. Well, now I feel stupid.
Yeah. Within reason.
Okay. All right. Well,
All right.
I made a choice. All right.
Yep.
A bad choice, but go ahead.
I've never played a Metroid game in my life.
Oh, okay. I respect it. I respect it.
I played Metroid Prime this year.
For the first time, I was there for the whole thing.
It was
no, I do the same thing.
Fucking good.
Yeah.
For
I'm not gonna fault you. That's okay. It's all right. You've been absolved. You're good,
bro. like, you know, I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Superman seems like a lame character to me, right? Like I'm not. I'm not
right.
invested.
Cool. All right. Different medium.
Right.
Character.
But
everything.
I'm just,
but sure.
Like I'm trying to gain like level playing field. But do you guys get that feeling at all? Or am I alone on that?
I'm not a comic book guy, so...
So you're saying, like, Superman is fucking white bread or just boring?
Yeah.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
I'm not invested in any Superman shit, because it's just... it's Superman.
Yeah, Superman is, like, as far as a DC character,
white bread,
he's pretty fucking boring. I get it.
Yeah. My knowledge of Samus is Super Smash Brothers, and it didn't look like that cool of a character. You know, I wasn't invested at all. You know, that's how I felt about it.
I see where this is going. I get it.
But
until you played this game.
Until I played this game, and now it's the coolest fucking character Nintendo's ever created.
Yeah.
Like, talk about playing games for the first time, and on your subsequent playthroughs, you wish it was the first time you've ever played it. That's the epitome of what I went through.
Okay. I agree with this. I'll absolve you of how you feel. Because the very first time I played Metroid Prime on GameCube, I was shocked. I was just like, oh shit, this is and I knew nothing about Samus. I didn't know who she was. I said, from Smash Bros. Exactly. So when I first saw Metroid for the first time, I was like, oh, this is the Smash Brothers character Samus, right? And whole time, right, I'm still thinking Samus is a man. I didn't know any better. You know, I'm playing GameCube and I'm still playing. So when the big reveal happened and it was a woman, I said, oh, shit.
I've been played.
This is a woman, my favorite character.
My patriarchy.
Smash Bros. Right. So
I definitely knew that.
It's such a good game.
Going in. Because, you know.
I did not.
I did not
know. By the time Melee came out,
right?
By the time Melee came out, I knew that Samus was a woman.
Yeah, that's when I found out too.
My introduction to Samus was through Smash Bros. I don't know, Super Smash Bros. I guess that's
And the whole time I thought
Nintendo 64
I thought that was a man.
one.
Yeah, I thought it was a man.
Yeah.
And like I like, because apparently they did this in the original. So I played the remake version. They had a remake. Did the remake come out this year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
February 8th.
And it was apparently it's a 1-to-1, and it's just awesome.
Yeah. It's just a much nicer looking version.
It really is a much.
I still don't think it's the best version, but that's fine.
Right. Well, we'll go back to the original.
In my case, the best version is in my opinion, is the Wii. You actually feel like because after I saw you. But like Metroid Prime is one of my favorite games of just all time. So after I saw him play through it, I went and then played through the trilogy on the Wii U because I have the Metroid Prime trilogy for the Wii. So I think it's the best way to play the game because like it's just like the Wiimote was made for that because you know you're actually like aiming the fucking arm cannon and shooting at shit, but also aside from that, which can possibly be like a superficial thing, but I think it does help with immersion. It's just that. When you're playing with the Wiimote, you could do things with it that you can't do if you're playing on sticks. So like, you could lock onto something, and let's say if the thing you're locking onto is not the thing that you need to shoot, you can then freely move the arm cannon to shoot at things while keeping your camera stable, and it's like, it's really good. But also just Metroid Prime is just like, as the kids would say, is one of the goats.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah. I definitely felt like after playing, I was like, damn, I fucked up not playing this as a kid.
Well, now you got like 2 more to play through, and they're both fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. Again, walking through it the first time, atmosphere was fantastic. The backtracking, finding out where to go and what to do, and opening up new secrets. And at that point in time, I was like, I'm not going to jump from game to game anymore. I'm going to finish a game completely before I move on. And playing that was very, very nice. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, yeah. So, now with that out of the way, if any of us had to pick out a shit game that came out this year that we played, what would it be? One game to rule them all.
Starfield.
Starfield? The worst game you played this year.
The worst game I have played this
I mean, it's okay.
year.
I'm not saying that Starfield, you can't say Starfield. I'm just saying, if you're going to say the worst game that you played this year is Starfield, if it's also, worst game can mean different things to each of us, right? So, like, for example, the worst game I'm going to say is probably not like the most factually worst game that came out this year, but it's offensive to me in a different way. Snarf, I might get a vibe on what he's going to say. And in your case, if you say Starfield, is that the worst game to come out this year? Objectively, no. Is it the most offensive thing that you played this year?
Probably. Yes.
Like, when I mean offensive, I don't mean like in a social, political way. I mean just like, you motherfuckers really like,
charge $60 for this
yeah, you
shit.
got me. You got me.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about it, because of the simple fact, not because it was on Game Pass, but because I paid $70 for it. It's a little sting for me, because I wanted to play it early. So and it was shit. So in my eyes, I felt like Starfield was a sting for me. If we're talking, if we're not talking because I paid $70, then the only game that I would say was worse than that for me, personally, that I wasn't really into, was Forspoken.
Yeah.
It was a letdown.
Oh boy.
Which I'm sure we'll get back on that game very briefly, but
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like that's no, I get it. I get the Starfield thing. Like we had a very extended conversation about Bethesda last week, so that's
Yeah.
And there was a lot of, anticipation for it also, and just the fall.
It's really more just like how, like without having a just go over everything we said last week, I think it's true. Starfield is just made in a fucking vacuum. Like no other game has existed or done this better.
Yeah.
like that game comes out, it's just like, yeah, man, we're like, this is hot shit. It's like Starfield is like when your friend tells you that they're nice at something and they never played it online.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's like, because you go like, oh, yo, Starfield, you think you're nice. It's just like, oh yeah, I forgot. There literally anything else that came out this year that I could play instead of this. But Starfield didn't know about that.
Yeah, I played a lot of Starfield, and
I played like 20, 30 hours of it.
Yeah, I got to, I stopped playing it, and then I intended to go back to it, and just like, I don't really want to go back to it.
Yeah, and what does that say? Like that's you could say you want to go back to it, but you haven't, which says a lot more. Which is the same thing with me, because like at first I was really trying to enjoy it for what it is, and then I was just like, okay, I get what this is. Boring. Let's go.
So I tried to go back to it. I had some game-breaking bugs as well, so my experience was just I got to a point where I couldn't progress the story anymore.
Where you tried to actually download mods to fix the problem.
To fix the problem, and it made the problem worse. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to start from the beginning, tried it over, still ran into the same issue, never got any support on the issue, so I just never went back to the game. Played fairly decently enough, like all of the side quests and stuff, because I couldn't play the main quest anymore. But played fairly decent the side quests and everything. Enjoyed it for what it was, but it was fucking boring. That is one thing that, like, you go down and you set this ship down,
like if
on an empty space, bro. I have more fucking fun traversing Mass Effect 2 and looking for materials than Starfield,
because you always get it done. You get it done,
bro.
Like,
it was just so it was so much a fucking just
slog, and it's
slog,
just it fails
bro.
it fails to deliver on that fantasy of you like actually going through space, since you most of your time going through space is just fast traveling through loading screens. Like it's just
Yeah.
Right.
it's like such a small thing that does so much damage. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It was really just a bad fucking game. Like I don't know how to really express it more than that. Like I know the best way to say it. I'll play Forspoken before I'll play Starfield.
Forspoken makes you feel.
Mm.
And feeling something is better than feeling nothing. But
Right.
speaking of feeling something, Snarf, your most shit game of the year. Go for it.
It's Forspoken.
Of course it is.
It's she didn't say dead ass once. Like she's
She's
not
from New York.
she's not
She's
even
not
from New
New
York.
York.
She didn't reference chopped cheese, bacon, egg, and cheese. She didn't talk about the subway. She didn't say dead ass, facts, or none of that shit once.
Yeah. No.
But more importantly, the writing is fucking laughably bad.
It's so mind-numbingly.
So you know what they added with an update?
What?
The ability to have them not talk.
That's amazing. Like the
I want to let you
banter
know
in
that's
between.
why. I want to let you know why. Yesterday I played that game for like 5 hours straight, and they barely said shit.
Yo, that.
It completely changes your experience. Like it's,
That's crazy.
every time there's times where she stops to talk to the cuff. Where she stops
Yeah, she
and
just
it
straight
gives you a
stops.
list. It gives you a list of the things you want to ask the cuff, and one of the options is say nothing.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's like,
So I just select that. So I barely hear them talk. Like it's great.
yeah, it's completely like there's no reason why you have to stop in mid traversal to talk to this dude, where he talks to you while you're traversing anyway,
you're running,
but you have
yeah.
to stop and talk to him at key
Because
points.
this one's important.
But it's not.
Important.
But it's
Yeah.
not important. It's not important. It's not. Get the fuck out
None
of
of it
here.
is. Yeah.
It's a mind-numbing experience, and I spent money on it, and I was upset. I played a significant amount of it. I played like maybe
You played 6 hours. 6 hours.
I think I was 9 hours in though.
You were playing 6 hours.
6 hours? Okay.
Listen, I got past the point that you got up to.
Yeah, and like
So I know. Like I've experienced what you've experienced.
6 hours to, and then I at that point I got the next
The cool
weapon.
power.
And then, but I was just so disheartened at that point that I
Over
just
it,
stopped
yeah.
playing. It might have gotten better.
Yeah, but it's not enough for you to care to find out.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
just, and
fine.
then these guys are just like
Yeah.
play fucking Forspoken. It's like,
Oh, we were fucking. We were busting his ass over that. Like we're in Discord and he would stream Forspoken for us. Like he would play the game stream and we just watch it. And so me and my friend would just be like, hey man, you should play Forspoken. After we already know that he's never gonna play it again, we just kept telling him to play it.
Just
'Cause
kept
I-
fucking with him.
yeah, I'll play
Yeah.
bad games. I'll play bad games that are so bad that they're good.
Rogue Legacy. Not Rogue Warrior.
Rogue Warrior. I'll play the shit out of
Yeah.
Rogue Warrior once.
Yeah.
That game
That was hilarious.
hilariously bad game.
And then you had to play it through cloud streaming. Like
Oh
that shit is-
yeah, and there was a delay, and when we
Yeah.
went online, like there's a versus mode, and Fist jumped
Rock and
on.
roll,
He
motherfucker.
bought PlayStation Plus so he can stream it, stream it and play with me. And
Yeah.
like the delay,
It's
my
so
gun
bad.
went from
It's so
from neutral to up to straight down.
Whenever you pick up the sniper in that game, it's like fucking God rest your soul, bro. You're fucked. That's it. It's so bad.
Man. Rock and roll, motherfucker, rock and roll.
Rock
But
and roll.
Forspoken ain't that game. All right, there's I feel nothing. I feel
Yeah.
nothing, and
Like
that's
I'm playing
worse.
it, and I think it's alright, but our experiences are definitely different. I will say.
yeah, yeah,
Like watching you play it was pretty brutal.
yeah, yeah. Because they're talking, you can't stop the talking.
Yeah.
Just, God. What's
Yeah, my
yours?
well, yours, you played it too. We played it for what had been like 30 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And it's like these 30 minutes left such a huge impression on me that I was like, this is like the fucking dystopian future where all of our games are unseasoned. Like this is the worst possible outcome. You know when you like, when you can retrace your steps in life and you're like, oh, these are all the terrible choices I made.
Yeah.
This game is a culmination of those choices, and that's Redfall.
Oh yeah, dude.
Redfall is such a shit bland platter of like it's like living in purgatory.
I was trying to think like what the hell are you talking about, and I just blocked it from my memory.
And it's such
Didn't
and
exist.
the worst part of Redfall is that it's such a fucking like I didn't really care all that much for Deathloop, but like Arcane still I love Prey. Well, I love Prey, the original one and the new one. But like they made Prey 2017. I love Prey 2017. People love Dishonored. I played Dishonored a bit and I never played it enough, but like
and
the times where I
Deathloop,
played I liked it a lot.
They made Deathloop?
They made Deathloop.
Deathloop is good.
And
Deathloop is
yeah,
good.
and like it's like for such a high profile, a studio known for fucking quality, to put out like it reminds me of Bethesda putting out Fallout 76. But the thing is with Bethesda, in my case specifically, I love playing Skyrim. I know said this shit last week, but I was saying the way Bethesda does games when Skyrim came out, I was like, this shit has to change. This shit is not going to keep working. And then Fallout 76 came out, and look, it's garbage. But like I could trace the steps of that. What the fuck happened with Redfall, man?
I don't know. I don't remember exactly what it was because it came out like earlier this year.
Yeah,
but I think it
came out after Forspoken.
Yeah, it must have been like rushes,
but it's just such a nothing,
underfunding and all that,
and just like, but it's just not. It's that, and it also just looks like the game, like whatever direction they wanted to take that game in, was the wrong one. Like. Maybe I imagine because they're part of Microsoft. So Microsoft's like, hey, you guys should probably make a some kind of like live service type shit, or I don't know, whatever the fuck, or it has to be multiplayer. So I don't even know if that game was a live service to begin with. I don't think so. But like,
I didn't play it enough. I don't think we played it enough.
We played it for like 30 to 45 minutes, and that was enough for me to go, this is one of the worst fucking things I played in recent memory.
Somebody online, like a streamer that I watch. He was saying like Redfall was supposed to be like a Destiny 2 type game, like a Destiny game.
Oh God!
Yeah, and it's like,
if that's true, oh God!
Oh
sorry, let me say
my
that.
God! Yeah, like, again, I didn't play enough of it to know what the hell. What it
like
was
I know it
supposed
has
to be.
like item levels. It has you grind for shit.
And you get powers and stuff.
Yeah, you get
classes.
powers, but it's like you play the game and it's just, like the end first. I cannot stand, and this is like sometimes why I will nitpick on Sekiro, even though I think the game is great. But like, I really don't like when there are games that throw so much stuff at you or give you so much in your kit and then don't have you use it. Like, there's no need to use it. The enemies in Redfall, for what we played, are fucking like I don't even know what like Google Gaga dipshits. Like they're so stupid.
Google Gaga.
they're so fucking stupid. And so it's like, okay, you give me powers, or I could just like rub my fucking butt on their face, and they still don't know I'm there. Like it's so bad. It's so bad, and it's so. More importantly, it feels like it's so uninspired. And it feels like it comes from a place of just pure, like, I don't know if complacency is the word I want to use, or, oh God, what's, when a game comes out and it's like, fuck, what was that movie? Mobius?
Mobius. Yeah.
Morbius, right?
Yeah,
That's
the
it?
vampire dude.
Yeah, the vampire one, where it's like one of the movies of all time.
Yeah.
Or one of the movies of time or something. Like, that's what Redfall is. And the thing is that, like, you guys feel about way about Forspoken. I'm kind of enjoying it. I also kind of get that it's kind of ass. Like, that game is ass, but, like, I'm also kind of enjoying it. So, like, the game still, at least for me, at least makes me like feel something, in that like I'll kind of turn my brain off and play it while I'm listening to a podcast or something.
Right.
But Redfall and games like it, and when I say games like it, I'll say something like fucking like Ghost Recon fucking Breakpoint or what's another fucking game like that that's just like a nothing burger. Like it's I can't think of another one at the moment.
I know like you don't share the same
Fallout 76.
sentiment, but like
Yeah.
Watchdog 1 for me was a
yeah, I can
no-go.
understand that. Yeah.
Was
Um,
and I was looking forward to it. Like I still
Yeah,
feel
that's
bad
the big
about that
difference.
today.
That's the big thing. Is like for me, I don't really look forward to shit. So when things come out, I'm super excited to play them when they turn out to be good. On the flip side, if they turn out to be ass, then depending on what kind of ass it is, I might just give it a shot to see like, oh, is it like that bad or is it like fine? That's where I feel like Forspoken is. But like then there are games like I said, like Ghost Recon Breakpoint, or fuck, there was another one at the tip of my tongue that Fallout 76 is like this. Like I tried playing Fallout 76 recently, and now now the game's sitting at like mostly positive or very positive on Steam. Thing is that like the game is still just okay, great. Now the game isn't broken. What's left? Gray matter. That game is so boring, but it's not shit. It's not shit.
Right.
It's just there. And I think that is worse than being shit.
Yeah, like you feel
Okay.
bad
Because-
about having spent the time on it.
Yeah, because
So
imagine like a society. This is so dystopian and it's so mega exaggerating, but imagine a society where instead of being mad, you feel nothing.
So your game is Redfall, Snarf's is
Forspoken.
Forspoken, and
And you
mine
got
is
Starfield.
Starfield.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, fair enough.
Yeah. Like
We
that's,
all dislike all the games though. So
Yeah.
I mean,
like there's-
objectively, the worst game
No.
is day after tomorrow or some shit, right?
the day before.
The day
But we didn't
before.
play that. We didn't play that.
the
We
day
didn't play that.
before. What the hell is that?
The scam game
That's
where it went live and then it went bankrupt.
You don't know about it?
The 2 days after.
You don't know about it?
No, I didn't hear
That's
about that.
that's a story now for this podcast.
That's
That's too big.
For the next time.
We talked
All right,
two
cool.
episodes ago. We spent a shit ton of time talking about that game. It's got, but I mean, we can talk about it offline. But that's a big story that we are already way over to talk about.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about that later.
Yeah,
Appreciate you guys having me on, man.
yeah, pleasure. We hope to have you on more.
Any honorable mentions? I have 2.
Honorable mentions? What for?
Yeah,
Good,
we-
like good or shit?
Good.
We already damn near 2 hours.
Good. You go first, and I'll think about it.
Rogue Legacy 2. Did that come out this year?
I don't know, but that's when I played it.
All right. Well, if it did come out this year, that's something definitely you should look at. And I forgot my second one. Okay. Well, continue.
Honorable mentions. I'm not gonna get into it. Star Wars Jedi Survivor and Marvel Spider-Man 2. Not really the biggest fan of Alan Wake 2. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't the greatest thing since sliced
Like not
bread.
your cup of tea.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I would say for me, probably, Wolong's an honorable mention for me, and oh god, what else did I play a shit ton this year?
Excuse me, Octopath Traveler 2.
Oh,
Forgot
there you
about
go,
that.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
My second one was Wizard with a Gun.
Oh, cool,
Not bad.
Yeah.
Still gotta
cool.
finish.
Yeah, like I think it was really Wolong. Yeah, that's about it.
Yep. All right. Cool.
There you go, and American Truck Simulator. I played that. I put like 100, 200 hours in that.
Well, happy 2023, fellas. It's over.
Yep.
Good year for
Yep.
gaming, and we'll see what 2024 brings.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard act to follow. Yeah.
For sure.
Indeed.
For sure. All right.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh wait, hold on. Wait. Where can everyone
Oh.
find? Well, Tony, you first. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitch at HeyyyyyTony or on YouTube at HeyyyyyTony.
Yeah.
H-
Hey, Tony is with
Tony,
five
five
Ys.
Ys. 5 Ys and a hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snarf.
Here.
Okay,
Solid
cool.
Snarf on Twitter.
Here.
You find me in the Discord.
Social media and shit. And
Nothing worth doing.
okay. Yeah, me. Pretty much just youtube.com/e/fist truck. And I don't know, social media. I kind of deleted Twitter and I have Blue Sky, but I don't use it. So there's that. All right. Well, that's it. Yeah. Just YouTube. Yeah, that's it. Cool.
All right. 2024. Here we come. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Peace out.